And it says we are live. It's Thursday night. I'm here. You're beautiful. That must mean, baby, it's time for GotBot Goes live. I, of course, am your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share. Of course, subscribe. And while you are at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit the notification bell. It helps me out a ton, and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery Man, the Everything Factor, all of the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that is in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring. Or, of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. I hope you guys are having a tremendous week. Of course, a lot of news to kind of cover. Some of it is going to be third party, a couple of new leaks, of course, we're going to dive into eventually. My thoughts about the Haslab Omega Prime that was revealed. We're not going to talk about that first. Save your comments for when we get to it. I would like to point out that my bell actually worked. Sweet. So, you know what? Maybe things are looking up. Maybe things are kind of looking up. Let's check in with you guys first, and then we're going to dive right into the news. Hey, Big M. Hey, Darren, BS Prime. Hey, Waspinator. Justice for the yellow version of our ID Optimus. Hey, Hot Wheels brothers. Hey, Input. Okay, so we're going to dive right into it because why waste time? Very first thing to note is coming out of. Hold on. Very first thing to note is coming out of Takara is they're doing this Our Origins. I don't know what Tess is doing there. They're doing this Our Origins thing. Apparently, it's going to include Beast Wars and Transformers episodes that will go up temporarily on their YouTube. It will also include the Missing Link Optimus Prime. And in April, there should be some MP and MPG products that kind of go with it. All of this, I have to believe, this whole Our Origin project is them kind of doing their own thing to celebrate the 40th anniversary. You know what? I can't blame them at all. Why not? Do your own thing. Go your own way. Why not? Hasbro is at the Nuremberg Toy Fair. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Of course, this is an industry show. However, we did get a short little video. And in that little video, we saw apparently wave 2 of something called Transformers Blockies. Blokies? I assume it's blockies because I think you're supposed to put them together. I didn't know that there was wave 1. I've never heard of these. So the wave 2 seems to include an Inferno, a Grapple, a Shattered Glass Optimus Prime, and a Grimlock. They all look all right for the most part. They look pretty good, molded nicely. But also on display, and I don't know if all of these were wave 1 or not, was Cliff Jumper, Blue Streak, Prowl, Ironhide, Ratchet. Who else was there? Megatron, the Seekers, Long Haul, Hook, Jazz, and Optimus Prime, of course. And like they look good, but they're like slightly chibi, slightly super deformed heads. Like the heads look slightly big for the bodies. Maybe the lower legs have a little bit of like a kind of an animated proportion where it's a little bit bigger. I don't have anything against them. I just didn't know that they existed. I don't think that they transform, but I do think that they are, of course, coming out of Toy Fair, licensed. So I don't know. They look neat. They look cute. They look small. I don't have a lot of details, unfortunately. Gamer Sideswipe. We saw some new pictures of Gamer Sideswipe, and I just want to touch on it for a second because I said last week that I thought he looked pretty good. He is a little bit taller than Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper. However, his feet, man, ooh, buddy, his feet are just, I don't know. His feet are just, it's kind of like tracks, like they're connect or like Generations Straxus and what's his name, Skullgrin, where like the feet are there but they're kind of not attached to the leg, but I find it really noticeable on Sideswipe. So make of that what you will. It's, to me, it takes away from Sideswipe. I actually prefer the feet of like the original deluxe that came out a decade ago. I prefer the shoulders of the new one. I prefer the feet of the old one. I guess you could say I prefer the upper body of the new one and the lower body of the old one. Make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. You know what? Let's get into this. So, one of the more controversial kind of things that we've seen this past week is the reveal of Legacy United Cyberverse Chromia. The only Chromia that I own is this. It is one of the worst molds that they ever did. How anybody can ever like this or like this mold is beyond me. The knee, like, I mean, her knee can't even bend without you, like, move this junk all the way down. The ankles are loose. The hips are loose. The hip skirt comes off. This is garbage. I think the best one is probably the Generations, but we're going to try this now. Let's see if we can do this. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna try something here. See if I can find it. Hold on. I was almost sure that I had it. Ah, yes. Let's try doing this. Yeah. Can you guys see it? Can you guys see it? You guys tell me. Can you see it? I'm trying the new thing with the showing the screen here. Are you able to see that? You guys tell me if you're able to see it. Nobody's saying anything to me. Well, no, you're all saying stuff, but like nobody's saying that to me. Hey, Dragonfly, I missed you there, buddy. As we go down here a little bit. Hey, Transformers Takara. Hey, Blue Star, recently picked up. I see it. Okay. All right. So you can see it. All right. So, like, if we look at this and look at that, here's what I think. Obviously, the Cyberverse one somewhat stylized here for sure. I mean, even in Cyberverse, she didn't have a red chest. So we have a red chest here. The tires were kind of behind her shoulders in the cartoon, not down on her legs. And I get it. There's pieces of the bike over her shoulders. I don't detest this, though a lot of people do. I think I might actually be in for this. Now, as I say that, maybe somebody in the chat can tell me. I know nothing about the Prowl mold. I don't know if it's good, and I don't know if it's garbage. I have no idea. While I don't think that this is the best rendition of Chromia, I never, ever, first nor last, saw the Generations here. I got this because I wanted Chromia, hoping that it was going to be good. I detest this with the passion of 10 billion suns. It's one of the worst. It's one of the top 3 worst Transformers I own. I don't think it should have been made if this was all that they could do. So I'm in for this because I want a better Chromia. It's as simple as that. I may use the accessories off of her with the new one, though, because I actually do like the accessories here. And not for nothing, but the new one I think is probably around the same shade of blue, which is a very Chromia blue. And her face is very Chromia-esque as well. So again, make of that what you will. We also had, and I guess I'll do this. We also had, I hope I'm doing this right. I really hope I'm doing this right. That one? Yeah. We had, can you guys see that one too? Yes, to me. I'm not gonna do the input thing all over. I really like the red chest. I don't detest the red chest. I like that it breaks up the blue, to be honest with you, input. The Thrilling 31. Yes, that's definitely, I think, the best one that they've done yet. So this is Shard, and I love it. I love the look of the greens. I saw somebody said, you know, what if it was done as like a magma rock where it was all like oranges and reds, and that looked really cool too. But I love this. What I like about it is you may notice in the robot a little bit of like the tail coming down there, and I find that very interesting because the way the backpack sort of works on this with the tail and the way the rotors like turn, it's very much like Death Cobra. And I could easily see them smoothing out the body and making a Death Cobra from this. It would be very interesting to see if they would ever go that route somehow. But you know what? I'm in for it. I like the Infer Universe guys. Everybody keeps calling them Rock Lords, but they're not really Rock Lords if you were a fan of Rock Lords. They're just rock creatures. But I like this. I've enjoyed Boulder Crash. I've enjoyed Magnus. Why wouldn't I enjoy this? You know, that's kind of my take on it. So I'm going to Get out of that. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to close that tab, and I'm going to close that tab. What is this? Oh, I know what that is. Yeah. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to check in with you guys. Let's check in with you guys. I got the Takara Adventures. You keep telling me about the Takara Adventures Drift for like the last 2 weeks, dude. I'm glad you're happy with them. Transformers Takara, I've been watching your commercial vids. Hey, no. Okay, you can see it. Good. I'm glad that you guys can see that. That's something new that I'm trying to incorporate little by little, right? Recently picked up the Legacy Elita 1. I like the mold. It gets a lot of flack, but I enjoy the mold. I like Chromia. I didn't like her in the what? I don't have her in the collection yet. I might get her. I might too. Like honestly, I think I'm in for her. Do you choreograph melee fights with your Transformers? If I'm doing stop motion, I do. I'm not good at it though. I've really got to try and get better at it. I'm not good at choreography of fight scenes. Did Hershey answer me about the QC? They absolutely did not answer me about the QC. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I had a Hershey with almonds bar, and my bar had 1 almond in it. Not almonds. It had 1 almond. I was like, way to go. Way to go, QC of Hershey's. I think Chromia looks good. That's what it says. I agree. Prowl mold is awesome. Okay, good. I feel more confident. Like, I don't know. I didn't watch a review on it. I don't know anything about it because I wasn't in for Prowl, right? So it's like new to me because I don't know anything about it. I still prefer Generations. Honestly, if I had the Generations, I probably wouldn't upgrade. It's as simple as that because I think the Generations is still the best one. I don't have that. I never saw that. And I so detest the Siege that it makes sense to me. But I honestly, Imperial, like if you got the Thrilling 30, like, yeah, I would agree with you. Honestly, I still think that's the best one. Hey, Anthony. Probably going to get this Chromia. I dislike the head sculpt. Thrilling 30 did it better. They did. I don't hate the head sculpt here. It's a little more G1 than it is Cyberverse to me. Like the eyes and stuff match better. I am curious, though, how the head will compare with the head on the Siege, because I really like the Siege head too. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll switch the heads out. We'll see. If I skip some stuff, guys, I apologize. Get to the rock chopper. Promold is pretty fantastic. The everything factor seems fantastic. Thanks. I appreciate that, Transformers Takara. It's a lot to that story. That's a lot. The everything factor has a lot of story to it, buddy. A lot of story. But thank you very much, and thank you for being our Super Chat super fan. I really appreciate that. Yeah, they're not really rock lords, but I still think they're cool, right? As we go down here a bit, I want to get Shard and then Magnus and Boulder Crash. I think you mean Magnus. Yeah, Magnus. Okay, I read that wrong. Yep, Magnus. They're great. Honestly, Magnus is fantastic. Like, Magnus is already in the running for top 10 of 2024. I'm as shocked to say that as you probably are to hear it. But, man, he's so good. He's so good. And Boulder Crash, when you first get him out, you're like, look at all this junk on the back. But it actually serves a good purpose. And it really doesn't get in the way of anything at all. So yeah, I like them. I'm in for them. Hey, Franzese, couldn't even put 2 almonds to make the label accurate. No, not even 2 almonds. You figured that would be like the base. Like, guys, okay, for our QC, we had the word almonds with the S on the package. We have to make sure there's at least 2 almonds in every bar. You figure that'd be a thing that they'd make sure of. But anyway, talk about cost cutting, right? My tread shot custom is almost complete. Nice. You've been working on that one for a while, man. Hey, Albert. Is there anywhere you can you get your book physically? No, not anymore. It's been out of print for so long that I wouldn't even know where to get it physically input. Unfortunately, I really wish that it was now, but it's just been out of print for so long that now it's an ebook Now it just exists as an ebook, and it had a very small Canadian run at the time. And it caught on more at the time as an ebook, so we kind of stuck with that back then. I don't know, maybe it'll get a reprint at some point. If it does, you'll certainly know. But right now it's still available, certainly on Amazon. And if you got I think if you got Prime and like, or like Kindle Prime or something, like I think it's one of those things that's included, like you can read it for free on there. I think, but you'd have to look into that. What else do we have here? I guess Hasbro didn't do Rock Lords because they thought people wouldn't buy the no, they. Why do people not know this? They can't do any GoBots toys. Bandai owns those designs. All Hasbro owns is some of the fiction and the names. That's why Bandai can't do anything with it either, because basically GoBots is held in limbo because no one company holds all the rights to be able to do anything with it. It's a real shame. Real shame. I really hope one day they're able to come together somehow and come up with something more official instead of having to like dance around it, right? Like we have Decepticon Crasher, but that's not the GoBot, even though we know it's the GoBot. You know what I mean? You know, the closest we got to Leader One is the Minicon that's supposed to be with Armada Megatron because we have the name Leader One, right? So I don't know. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm not an expert, but I like to think about the flow of the fight. What would the character do if if a hit didn't land? Absolutely. Like I said, I got to get better at it. But I got to get the bear that is the season 2 finale done, and it's just that finale really got out of hand, and it's taken me multiple years to get it done. Not because it's. You'll see when it's done. You'll see. You'll be like, oh yeah, there's a reason that took forever to put together. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. You're not wrong, buddy. I'm trying to collect the legacy RID figures, and I don't know. I'm gonna get the new Omega Prime. Yeah, well, I haven't talked about that yet, but wait and hear my thoughts. Yeah, GoBots are currently no bots. You're not wrong. Crossover, maybe they could do some sort of a crossover. Yeah, I don't like when that sort of stuff gets stuck in limbo either, buddy. I'm right there with you. I passed on the Legacy Alita because it seemed like we just got the Netflix not long before, but I didn't like the Netflix. It's Input's favorite mold. It wasn't for me. But if you got the Netflix and you like it, I understand why you'd pass on it for sure. Broke Null Ray on what? Broke Null Ray. Fortunately, I have 4 more Starscream blasters. How'd you break a Null Ray? I thought they were pretty thick. I'm just curious. Hey, Lance. Still got my Super GoBot. The only Super GoBot I owned was Leader One. He was so good. And my buddy, and I talked about this before, how he had all the Renegade stuff. He had the Super GoBot of, you guessed it, Psykill, who was pretty cool. I mean, his tires end up on his back, but he was still pretty cool. Okay, let's go back to the news. And try and get through some more as we head toward my thoughts about Haslab's Omega Prime. But before we get to that, we saw some more images of the Mochibots plushes. Wave 2 includes all 3 of the Seekers, Megatron, Shattered Glass Megatron. They stand 15 centimeters. If you're not sure what that is, it's about 6 inches. It's about the size of a deluxe, right? So if you want a deluxe size plush, I don't know. Get those, I suppose. New Age showed off their wind charger and their tailgate. Look really good. Granted, the toes kind of really stick out, but the way that they're sort of separate from the foot chunk works because it allows the foot chunk and stuff to have an ankle tilt, which is really, really nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm fine with my Power of the Primes ones. But if I didn't have them, I would probably be really tempted to get the New Age ones as stand-ins for those characters. They look great in both modes. I assume the transformation is good. I don't know how they actually scale because I'm not sure what their size is. But for what I saw, they are quite impressive indeed. I saw those images on TFW, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of days ago. What else do we have here? I already have that. Oh, by the way, I mentioned Hasbro being at Nuremberg Toy Fair. Apparently, they're also showing some stuff for Transformers 1, being, I think, figures. As well, there's some mirror balls. Apparently, these are like blind bagged things. I've never heard of these mirror ball things. Some items from Numbskull Designs, some costumes and accessories, even some Transformer stuff from Pez. So it doesn't sound like they're showing a lot of toys other than Transformers 1 stuff, potentially. But other than that, and that would be a big deal to show some of that. But other than that, it looks like a lot of it is licensed stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll see some in the coming days, months, whatever. That's just the way Toy Fair is. threezero, they showed off their M Deluxe Starscream. He's got 50 points of articulation. He is pretty splendid for the most part. We also saw, if I'm not mistaken, I believe M Deluxe Nemesis Prime, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. No, take that back. Not Nemesis Prime, Shattered Glass Optimus Prime, if I'm not mistaken. Also looks quite good. I mean, it's the M Deluxe Optimus in Shattered Glass Optimus colors, and the purple really bright, really striking, really stands out. Really like it. Super 7 showed off their 86 Japanese movie poster puzzle. Something different from Super 7, a puzzle. So the 86 movie had a different poster in Japan. Super 7 is doing that poster as a puzzle with, get this, 1,000 pieces, man. So if you're into puzzles, into big puzzles, 1,000-piece puzzle, and the end result, get you a nice 86 movie poster. Just saying, might be worth the effort, man. Might be worth the effort. And then next we get to the selects version of this guy, Wheeljack. And mine has a couple of upgrades on him. This is very much like the Trailbreaker version, right? Where we already got this. Unless you missed him for some weird reason, I don't know if it's worth the upgrade again. And that brings us to here. And let's see if I can find, yeah, right there. Let's share this thing, shall we? This right here. Haven't done a puzzle in many ages. Might be time to check it out. I hear that, buddy. I hear that. 1,000 pieces, ain't got time for that. That's fair, man. That's fair. If I don't get the Omega Prime, should I get the old one? The old one's great. I reviewed it. I would say go and watch my review on the old one, Hot Wheels Brothers, because whatever I thought is in there. Did anyone have, including you, Dennis, have the Transformers the movie poster? I know I didn't back in the day. No, I absolutely did not. Earthrise looks better. Now, this is what Noah's saying. Noah's saying Earthrise looks better. I have Wheeljack with an upgrade kit too. I'm excited for the multi-pack. Now, if you somehow, and I can't imagine how you missed Wheeljack because he was released 3 times, I think. It was the Battle Damagey version in the Netflix War for Cybertron line. There was the Earthrise, and there was the Kingdom. I don't understand this. So in looking at this, I prefer the Earthrise, actually. I wish that the Earthrise had the bright white of the selects, but I prefer the black over the gray. I prefer the red on the sides of the chest rather than it not quite being on the side, like it's taking up more of the chest on the Slex one. I do think I like the Slex head. Really nice. I think the blue eyes pop a little bit more. But here's the thing. I really don't like the Allspark blue windshield here. I think I would if it came down in a semicircle all the way around. But because it kind of comes down the way it does, when we look at the Earthrise one, it kind of masks the fact that it's not rounded at the bottom. It's squared off because it's clear. With this one, you're not masking it. It's just an awful lot of Allspark blue on his tummy. If that works for you, cool. But I don't think I like it as much as I thought I was going to like it. I thought I was going to like it more. I don't know. I mean, again, if you for some reason need these, cool. It's going to be a 5 deluxe multi-pack. It's not going to be a cheap multi-pack. I assure you. If you're thinking you're going to get this for 50 or 60 bucks, you're not. I'm $100 US maybe is where I'm thinking. I think it's 100 and 60 Canadian, I want to say. Something like that. Like, I'm not paying that for a hound. That's insane. You know, I don't know. I don't, this is one of those, I don't get why they're doing it. I really don't get why they're doing it. I'm not sure who's going to appeal to, but, you know, if you got the, I'm going to say extra money, and you want this, then go for it, I guess. It's the best thing I can say to you about it, right? Let's just go up here. I don't have most of the characters. Now, see, Hot Wheels Brothers is like in a good position for it. I don't have most of the characters. If you don't, you don't. I mean, if you have the money, cool. But if you didn't get them before, do you have the money now to get them? You know what I mean? I think, and I've said this before, I got nothing against them recoloring it like this. I got nothing against them doing it, but I don't think it should have been done as multi-pack. Just reissue them and make Hound separate as well. All of these should have just been singular reissues. I think they're going to lose a lot of sales or a lot of potential sales by making this a multi-pack. You'll need to go null ray shopping. That's rough. I'm glad you guys are able to see those pictures. That's nice. Yeah, I'm thinking at least 100. I heard 114 US is what I heard, but don't quote me on that because I can't say the source was the most reliable. Right? And maybe somebody's heard different. I don't live in the US. I can only tell you what it is in Canada, right? So that selects Wheeljack. MP Hoist. There's a transformation video. I'm not going to lie. I started to watch it, and I felt like the hood was so fiddly and finicky that as soon as they were like making these minute little movements with it, I'm like, yeah, I'm out. I didn't even finish it. I think that's another reason why I'm not an MP guy. Like, I get tired just watching like a transformation video. It's like, this is far too complicated and needlessly so. I don't want to sit down here for a half hour transforming this thing. That's not what I'm into. I want to be able to do it in a couple of minutes back and forth. Sometimes I got some mainline ones that I don't even transform very often because it's a pain in the neck. I don't know. If you are into it, cool. I think the Hoist it's screen accurate, but he still looks weird. That's the thing. Like, yeah, he's really accurate, but man, is he a weird design. Really, really, really strange design. 40th anniversary, I guess one of those souvenir jackets. They're doing Devastator this time. I talked about the souvenir jacket a while ago. It had the Dinobots on the back. Now there's a souvenir jacket being done for the 40th anniversary that has Devastator on the back. I can't remember the name of the company doing it. It's in Japan. And the jacket, much like the Dinobots one, is going to be, get this, $600 US. And I look at it and I'm like, this is an ugly jacket. They're really popular for some reason in Japan, but I'm looking at it and I've seen those before and I'm like, $40, maybe $40, but like $600. I mean, you gotta be on some hard drugs, man. Just saying, gotta be on some hard drugs. YOLOPARK showed up their AMK blind bag minis of Nemesis Prime and Skywarp. Nemesis Prime and Skywarp are both going to be fairly rare blind bag minis for the YOLOPARK AMK line. In fact, your chances of getting a Nemesis Prime will be 1 in 60, and your chances of getting Skywarp, I don't know why Skywarp every single time got to be some sort of exclusive or hard to find. Why is it always Skywarp? Skywarp will be 1 in 30. I don't like when they do stuff like that. I don't like when any company does stuff like this. Just release the bloody things. You know what? Like, we don't live in a world now where people have the patience for that sort of foolish nonsense, really. We'll go back to that because I actually have a screenshot to show for that. Speaking of Super 7, they showed off their T-Rex from the Beast Wars Megatron mold, recolored in T-Rex, so it's mostly like beige and red, I guess. I mean, it's Super 7. It's the reaction line. As a matter of fact, tomorrow's review is going to be my only reaction offering that I own, which is the Gun Robo P38. It's basically Megatron all in black. But it's very indicative, and it very much covers my thoughts on the reaction line as a whole for Transformers and everything else, to be honest with you. It'll be a short review tomorrow, really short one tomorrow, but stick around then because I think you're going to, you know, probably be interested just to hear what I kind of think of the reaction line. So I'll sort of save my thoughts a little bit about that. If you like the T-Rex look, this might be for you. Writer Michael Charles Hill. He'll be going to TF Nation. He's worked on a lot of cartoons over the years. And I think we only have 3 pieces of news left. We do. We're going to do 2 of them. And then we'll do the Haslab Omega after we do trivia. So the first one, and both of these have images, actually. Things for me to share. So hold on. That, and yes, that. Okay. So we're going to do this in the order that the screen sharing thing comes up here. So we'll do this first. I'm going to open it. It's there. I'm going to check it with you guys. You guys can certainly look there on the screen for a moment. I agree about the lack of the circular tummy. Yeah, for sure. Just throws the look off to me, right? If I get that multi-pack, I'll sell the Hound and Wheeljack for $20 each. I think everybody's going to be trying to sell a Wheeljack. I think everybody's going to be trying to sell everything except Hound. If you're selling Hound, I mean, I'd like a Hound. Just saying. I wonder how easy it'll be to swap out the chests of the Wheeljacks. Probably easy. I mean, I think it just pops off, to be honest with you. But the whites won't match will be the thing. Oh. 25 by 1 is 125 US. 125 US is not, plus tax is a nuts price. To drop all at once for something that's not a Titan. And for 4 molds that most people already have. No, you didn't miss the Omega Prime stuff yet. I'm saving that for the end because I knew people would be coming in here. Reissue them as Legacy. That's right. I'm right there with you. Unlike some collectors, have to save money or make money, so it'll take longer for me to buy a figure. Exactly. Hot Wheels brothers, you're exactly right. It takes you longer because you got to save money. So what all of a sudden now has you magically be able to spend $120, $130 when before you didn't buy them when they were $20? You know what I'm saying? Like, what makes it more feasible now is what I would wonder. And maybe you're already saving. I don't know. Oh, yeah, Mike. I'm going to spit this out now. So Mike here in the chat won a Death Source. He bought in on like a raffle for like $20. I think it was two entries. So I think it was like $40. And he won. So he won a Haslab Death Source and technically only paid like $40 for it. Canadian, no less. Like, wow. What a turn of events. Like, man, 35, he says, about 35 Canadian. There you go. 20 American, about 35 Canadian, he's saying. Like, that's insane. What a lucky break. For sure, man. Yeah, that's most of us. Exactly, Matt. You're totally right, buddy. Sure Shot, Swoop, Thunderwing, Actual Pretenders. Yeah, we got a lot of those, but some of those would be good to have redone. I might grab random pieces of Transformers from eBay and maybe create a Frankenstein monster. I mean, that's up to you if that's what you want to do. I remember when things released in a multi-pack used to cost less than the total. That's right. Now they're like multi-pack plus a little bit extra because this is exclusive, right? I don't know why I've done that like a ghost, by the way. Okay, so here now we have. Can you guys still see it? I'm actually gone to that page. So here now we have, this is the Iron Factory Menasor, and I think it's ugly as sin. I like the look in vehicle mode of the Stunticons, and I like the look in robot mode for the most part of the Stunticons. I'm a little out on drag strips robot mode there, what with his like white lower legs that look like they're like wrapped up in tape or something. But then I see the combined mode, and I'm like, that's really ugly. I don't like it at all. I don't like anything about it. It looks like its articulation is going to be wildly hindered. And I don't really like that the complete cars are just hanging out their arms. They're not really combined. They're not doing anything. They're just there. It's not for me. It might be for you. But that's not all that we had from Iron Factory. Here you can see their Optimus Primal and their Cheetor in samurai style. I think that the Primal looks all right, a little bit stylized. I think the Cheetor looks really good too, to be honest with you. I don't really dig the red scarf that he's wearing, I suppose. It's not really, I don't know, it's not striking me. And I do like the Tigatron. I think the Tigatron looks really, really cool. The Megatron, quite stylized, but looks nice. And what I'm going to say is ooh, hold on. What I'm going to say, the Megatron looks really nice. What I'm going to say is Transmetal Black Arachne. I think she's the most successful of the bunch. I think the Megatron looks really cool, but man, if you didn't tell me that was Megatron, I'm not 100% sure I'd guess it, to be honest with you. Maybe I would, maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. Not sure. Is there a release date for the new Bumblebee movie, Sunstreaker? No, gosh, no. We just saw pictures of Sunstreaker and Shockwave yet. I'm not sure when they're supposed to come out. April at earliest, because that's when the Wave 2 is supposed to come, right? So probably at earliest a couple of months, but I'm thinking a bit later. I'm thinking more like summer, to be honest with you, is what I'm guessing. But I could be wrong on that. I bet the next Haslab will be RID 2001 Megatron. Well, when this Haslab isn't done yet, you're not gone anywhere with it. They're just starting this one. You're like, I bet the next one is going to be maybe, but like, dude, let this one do its thing first. Megatron had a lot of crazy alt modes, but Samurai Dinosaur might be the wildest of them all. I agree, and it's not that I don't like it. It's just it's weird. Like I don't know. Do you see this? Like I don't know if you like it, cool. And don't get me wrong, there is something cool about it. But like as a Menasor, I would never know that that's Menasor at all, not even a little bit. So again, make it what you will. I do not care for it. And the other piece of news, which is also a share, I'm getting like a pro at this. Aren't you impressed with me? I'm getting to be a real grown up. This one comes from TFW, and right there, it is the versus 2-pack. So it's very funny that this is here. Hold on. Very funny that this is here. My guy is the stock one, but I've done a bunch of custom paint work on him over time. So things that I like about the new one, comparatively. I kind of like the darker blue on the ribs, but I think the lighter blue is animation accurate. I don't like that his lips seem to be painted white to mimic his teeth. I'm pretty sure that the face sculpt is just a closed mouth, so I don't really like the white there. The bit of a dark, lighter color for the dinosaur. I think I prefer the slightly darker color of the stock, but I respect the lighter color. The kind of black on the legs and the hip ball joints, or gunmetal gray. I don't know if I like that, and I don't think it's animation accurate. I think it's supposed to be more browny, to be honest with you. The gold on the lower legs, much better. But on the side of the knees, there's supposed to be a couple of little blue highlights that actually aren't on the Takara. And I do like when you open up the tail that the inside is painted like that red color. Let's just kind of, who bought an extra Dinobot and kept one in Raptor mode? No, I don't buy extras like that. It's not what I do. If it's what you do, cool. I mean, there they are in dinosaur mode, if that's your thing. I like the darker one. I think it just feels a little more cohesive, but I got nothing against the lighter one. This is the spider mode of both of the Tarantulas, and the one on the left is the new one. But honestly, because the chest is a bit of a different color purple, I don't think I like it as much. It's really strange that the chest would be a different color purple. I do like the deeper yellow that's used here, though, on the versus pack. And then if we go ahead, here we have both of them in their robot mode. The one on the left is the new one. The one on the right is the stock one. I like the stock one. On the left, we have more black on that section. I don't even know how to say this. Like there's a section just under the chest, but it's not quite down in the tummy. It's purple on the stock, but it's black on the new one. And the black that's on the inner leg is also on the kneecap of the new one. I'm okay with the kneecap being purple or black. I do, again, the gold here is nice, but I think I like the actual deeper yellow. And I do like that the molded in detail on the side of the leg is painted yellow instead of just being molded in and left. So I don't think that the differences in the Tarantulas are that big of a deal. Either one is fine. I think the Dinobot is the selling point for this set. Or you could do like me, because I added the gold down on the lower leg. I added it on that piece on the hip. I added gold on his claws. And I added gold down on the feet. And I added gold and the blue highlights on his kneecaps. So, like, I done a few touch-ups on my Dinobot that makes me happy with him. But again, that won't be for everyone. I think this is a great versus pack. But again, I don't know if you need to double dip or not. I'm going to do the trivia now, and we're going to kind of get this out of here because we only have one piece of news left, and then we can get out of here. The trivia, easy one, and ties in actually to our last piece of news. What is the name of the RID Ultra Magnus's blaster? Is it A, Blaze Laser, B, Blue Bolts, C, Magna Blaster, or D, the Ultra Destroyer? A, B, C, or D. What is the name of RID Ultra Magnus's blaster? Is it the Blaze Laser, the Blue Bolts, the Magna Blaster, or the Ultra Destroyer? Going to see. You guys are saying B, 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 B. I'm going to go up and see what you guys are saying up right here. I'm probably going to miss some of your comments, and I apologize if I do. Robot modes and combined modes look weird. I'm not sure what that's to, but I can close that one. As we go down here. Hey, Timmy, if I didn't say, buddy. The only samurai robot I want is Drift. And you know what? Honestly, like, it makes sense. And some of them look okay, but it's like, I respect Iron Factory for doing something different. And some of them have looked really cool, but not every one of them is a hit. Some of them are a miss. I'm not going to lie. Plus, not for nothing, and I guess I should have said this too, but Iron Factory, yes, Iron Factory also, and I didn't see the pictures there. Iron Factory also showed off their Kill Bison and their Drill Horn. What's really weird about Kill Bison and Drill Horn is that they come with an entire leg part that, like, even has, like, the upper leg and lower leg, and it looks like the figure slots in or connects on to what is essentially already a complete leg. I think it'll bode well for the combined mode of Lio Kaiser in the end, but I looked at it and I was like, great bot, great chest minion. But what are you supposed to do with that leg when it's not combined? It's just hanging out there. It's a big leg. It's a thigh and it's a lower leg. So fairly significant. Yeah, I don't know if they go like inside of the lower leg or off to the side, or it's really, really weird, the design on it. That said, Drill Horn looks great. Kill Bison looks great. As we go down here a little bit, Megatron had a lot of crazy alt modes, but Samurai Dinosaur, yeah, might be the worst of them all. I did read that one. Hey, Transmetal Braun, I refuse to buy anything else from Hasbro Pulse ever. Did get my death source, but I paid upfront. What? My death source that I paid upfront. So disappointed. Okay. Oh, never did get your death source. Did you hear about my trek? I had to reach out to them and eventually private message them before they ever even sent it. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Hey, Slinky. Looks like a Megazord. I could see that. I'm not into Power Rangers. It was after my time, but I could see it. Yeah, I did wait for mine forever. You're right. You're absolutely right, Matt. Hey, Eyes. Still trying to find a Legacy and Studio Series Snarl. Man, good luck. Good luck. Double Dinobot reference, right? Oh, yeah, that could work. I took a tutorial. I should take a lot more tutorials. Is the Takara Dinobot based on the Kingdom cartoon? I don't know. That's a good question to put. Maybe it's not based on the original. Maybe it's based on the Kingdom cartoon. That could be. Good point. Really good point. I'm going to try buying the extra Kingdom Dinobot and Scrap Heap and customizing a non-Beast Wars Cybertronian version of Dinobot. Interesting. That could be very interesting to see in the end. Hey, Keldeo. I didn't upgrade. I didn't upgrade to nothing. It's a new feature that they put in where I can do it. I didn't upgrade a thing. YouTube upgraded. Sunstreaker is your favorite Autobot, but don't have a collection of them yet. That's fair. Yeah, you guys are right. It's Blue Bolts. The answer to the trivia was, in fact, Blue Bolts. Still sickening. Still sickening at the name Blue Bolts. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Hey, Terry. I was thinking the same thing. They're not my thing, but props for trying something different. Yeah, absolutely props for trying something different. We need a new drift. I don't think we do. I got the Generations one, and the last thing I need is anything to replace it. But okay. Gotta put some ice on those Blue Bolts. Oh dear. Hey, Ultra Megatronus, just remember, shop smart, shop S-smart. Okay, cool. S-smart. I get it. I would like to get a Misfire action figure, but I'm just not paying $200 for it. I paid 17 Canadian. So, I don't know what to say to you there. I've seen some pre-Beast Wars Dinobots. Yeah, I'm not a pre-Beast Wars guy, but I respect that some people are, for sure. Okay, so let's deal with the elephant in the room and then get out of here. No, I don't have an unboxing this week. Didn't pick anything up. And the elephant in the room is this. And everybody's been losing their mind over Omega Prime. And I was saying all week, people were like, it's definitely going to be a promise. And I'm like, you're a moron. No, it's not. When they did that Unicron, it was, 2021? Before the hyperinflation of 6 and 7%, some estimates even put it at 8%, of 2022 and early 2023. If they were charging $600 for that Unicron in 2021 and had it fail twice and mushed the numbers and expanded because they had to have that first project fund, there was no way that wasn't going to be made. It was the first project. It had to be made. I reckon that if they were to try Primus now, they'd have to charge $900. And if Unicron struggled that much, Primus would simply not fund. Maybe one day, but in the current economic climate of the world, would not fund. Not going to happen. And then some people said, I'd like a playset. That's not what they're going to do. They're going to do a transformer because that's what they do. Playsets could be done by anybody. This doesn't shock me. It was the strongest rumor. One guy said to me, I wish you and people like you would stop spreading these rumors. I'm like, dude, I'm not spreading a rumor. I heard this from people I know that work for Hasbro. I have sources. And no, I'm not going to betray who they are because the guy said, tell me the names. I'm like, no. But if I'm telling you that they were leaning toward Omega Prime, they didn't know for sure either. But if I'm telling you they were leaning toward Omega Prime because it's the scuttlebutt they heard, then to me, that is a fairly good indication that that's what it was going to be. This doesn't shock me. The reasoning that they gave is that RID kind of falls in the middle-ish area of the 40 years of the franchise. Evan also said that he admitted he was wrong when he said there wouldn't be any Optimus Primes in Haslab. He misspoke. He misunderstood. Now, whether somebody told him to say that or whether he actually did, I don't know. I can only tell you what Evan said. But he took the blame on his shoulders and said, that's not right. An Optimus can appear here just as easily as anybody else. And you know what? We have the base Optimus. Looks great. We have the Super Optimus. We have that base mode. In fact, with the base mode, because it had a little seat for a Diaclone character originally, now that little seat can fit a Titan Master. So we're going all the way back to Titan's Return. Then we have the Magnus, whose proportions are still garbage, but I have to believe he's going to be better articulated. If he's not, you're going to have a real problem. And then we have now a new deluxe in with it with blue bolts. It's not just an accessory now. He's an actual deluxe offering. He's a weaponizer, armorizer, whatever you want to call the gimmick. And if they hit the first tier, you get a basically 2-foot tall sword that is also by right supposed to be wielded by Fortress Maximus. So it's big. Which means it was a huge mold plate, which means it was a huge mold. So yes, whether you think that that's a big deal or not, to make that 2-foot tall sword was a significant investment that they're going to want to recoup. So to them, that's going to be added value. And then you get not one, but two display stands. And again, display stands are big. They take up a fair amount of room on a mold plate. Now, why am I saying all of that? I'm saying all of that because we have to consider the price of this thing and what that means. First of all, in Australia, pre-orders are up. It is being sourced there through EB Games/Zing for $800 Australian. Just so we're clear, the price when you do the conversion to Australian dollars, the what 250 or whatever comes out, I believe, to be about 380 in Australian dollars. That means EB/Zing is basically doubling the price on orders there. I think that that's an absolute failure by Hasbro to service the people of Australia. Absolute failure if you think that's good enough. I really don't think it's good enough personally, but you know, that's just me. The guy is going to have the back metal chest, and they're going to have hot stamped Autobot logos on, I want to say, Magnus. The Combimo will also have the back metal chest bits, and the Combimo is going to stand 13.75 inches, really big, about the size of my Unique Toys Warlord, a bit bigger than Combiner Wars, a bit bigger than Commander Class. When combined. Apparently, is going to be very solid and have ankles. Make of that what you will, and a waist. That's a lot of articulation. That's one of the things with the original. Once you got them all together, his articulation was pretty good, but they really have to nail the way he combines here. If that fails, this whole project is going to be a disaster. So they need to nail that. They've done a lot of talking about how 5mm pegs and ports are like, that's the way to do things, baby. And I think that there's going to be a significant amount of those and probably some sliders along the way as well. It's going to have to be solid. That's just the end of it. It is what it is, right? So let's talk about the pricing. $249.99. Well, first things first, and you'll notice the picture that I have up in the middle has all three of them. In essence, you have two Commander class offerings in the Super Optimus and the Ultra Magnus. A Commander class, as it was relayed to me, is still $90 in the US. So that's 90 times 2. That's $180. You also have a Deluxe here now. That's 25 in the US. So that's 80, 90, $205. If they hit the first tier and we get the sword, or people that back it get the sword. I'm not backing this, by the way. I have my Optimus. My Optimus is the Earthrise G1. I'm a G1 guy. I respect this, and I respect its existence, but it's not the Optimus for me. I reviewed the original. It was great. I'm sure this will be great. It's bigger than the original. Anyway, I digress. $205 is where we're at. If the sword gets hit, then that's, I'm going to say, another $15 in value, conservatively. So now we're at $220. If the two stands are hit, I think their value is about $5 a piece. That's about $230. The packaging, I have no doubt they're going to commission some art from somebody like Guido, and that's another $10, $15 in value. They're going to call it value. That has us up now to about $245. I think $249 is, I can't believe I'm going to say this, I think it's about right for the pricing. That said, I don't think this should have been a Haslab. I mean, you could have just released the Optimus as a Commander class. You could have released the Magnus as a Commander class. You could have released the Deluxe. I don't think anybody would care if they didn't have the two stands, and I don't think anybody would care if they didn't have the sword. And then you could have had the whole thing for $205 instead of $250. If you're backing it, cool. And it's been pretty successful so far. They're at, last I checked, almost 6,000 backers. This is going to back. I think all the tiers are going to be unlocked. And while I think it's overpriced, if you don't have the sword and don't have the display stands, I honestly think with the sword and with the display stands, this is priced just about right. Go figure. I never would have expected it. Anyway, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. From me, can you believe we've reached the end of another show? And I want to thank all of you guys for coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring. Or, of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, please hit the subscribe button. Stick around. Have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, don't ever forget for 1 second, whether you feel it, whether you don't, whether you're happy, whether you're sad, whether you're angry, whatever you are, don't forget for 1 second that you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams right here on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or of course the old fashioned way inside the videos.